Welcome back, I'm Sean, and today we're checking out a budget smartwatch from QCY that is pretty awesome on paper and has quite a lot of specs. But will it be any good? So let's check it out. So the Watch GT today was sent over to me by QCY for a review, but this is not a sponsored post and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So the Watch GT that we have here today comes in at a price of $33 or about 155 Malaysian ringgit, and it's a super budget friendly smartwatch that have capabilities from more expensive smartwatches out there. So let's take a look at if this watch meets your expectation, and if you're interested in buying one, do check out my links below. So to be honest, I like how refined this watch is, and I'm going to be straight and say that there is some flaws with this watch, and we'll get to that later, but there is also a lot that QCY has got right here. So for starters, the material that you get with this watch is also high quality. The frame of the watch is made of zinc alloy material, and when using it in cold places, the watch actually does get cold. The display technology here is also great, and you're getting a nice 1.43-inch AMOLED display rendering at 60 Hz, a resolution of 466 by 466 since it's a circular watch, and that yields you a pixel density of 326 ppi. Just like the COSPAD that we've looked at recently, the screen is sharp to the point that if you try to pixel peep, you're not going to see individual pixels. And the AMOLED display here is also really nice, and you get pure blacks and the watch just looks really nice, and comparing it next to a non-AMOLED screen, you're immediately going to tell the difference. So at the back of the watch is mainly a plastic housing, and also where QCY places their PPG and SpO2 sensors, as well as a magnetic charging pins to charge the watch up. So the watch here gets a 22mm silicone strap, and I'm not the biggest fan of it because it's actually quite grippy and it's machined so precisely that it's actually quite tight to wear, as in the strap is quite tight to fit into the buckle here. And I also like those watch bands that are silicone but has that powdery smooth finish, and this one is just pure grip. So I think there is its use cases, it's not going to go anywhere after you wear it, and you're also going to get a quick release mechanism here so you can easily swap it out to something that you like. So the watch here also doesn't have any fancy glass material at the front here and only has one dial to control everything in the watch, meaning you're going to rely a lot on the touchscreen, and there is also no shortcuts to go about it. So the watch is also really lightweight despite being pretty big case at 46mm, and the watch only weighs 53.9 grams. So battery life here is rated realistically at around 4 days, and from my test I'm getting about 3 days of battery life. QCY also rates it at about 10 days if you don't connect it to any phone and not use the 24-hour heart rate monitoring. But if you use it for several calls, about 100 screen ons or off times a day, 30 minutes of sports twice a day, play music for 30 minutes and call for 30 minutes, you will last you about 4 days. So use that as a benchmark. So features on this watch is also really sweet, and for starters you're going to get a Bluetooth 5.2 chipset, and in this case it supports mostly for syncing purposes, but when it's connected to your phone you can also use it for answering and talking on phone calls. There is no option to connect external power meters, cadence or speed sensors to the watch, and that's all you get to do with the Bluetooth connectivity. So the watch also comes supported with an IPX8 water resistant rating, meaning it should be good enough for swimming. However, going through the different sport modes inside the watch, there is no swimming sports or open water sports found in this watch, which is weird. There is also no onboard GPS found on this watch, so that explains a lot about the budget nature of this watch. If you want to start any workout on this watch itself, there will not be any form of tracking for your runs or location on this watch. And apart from that, you're also getting basic set of sensors here to track your activities, including a 24 hours heart rate monitoring, SpO2 blood monitoring, stress monitoring, as well as sleep tracking. So another great thing that this watch has is a 1000 nit brightness, so using it under direct sunlight is good. And the flashlight function here is super useful and bright, and comparing it to my Apple Watch Ultra, it feels like the QCY is just a tad bit brighter, but you only get one on or off, there's no changing of colors like the Apple Watch. So also, if someone sends you a photo, the notification only appears as a text saying picture, and there will not be any preview of the picture on your watch. And finally, for the camera feature, you can access the camera only in the QCY app and uses the phone as the viewfinder, and the watch will just show a camera button for you to snap away. So you cannot use your phone's native camera app with the remote. And the watch interface here is also pretty simple, and from the homepage itself, if you want to change the watch face, just turn the crown and you can swap around your preloaded watch face, and you get 5 in total, the preloaded ones, and 1 watch face that you can sync from your watch. So this yellow one here that I have is the one that I sync. So if I sync any new watch faces here, it will replace this one. So pressing on the crown also brings you into the menu, and here you can change it to the rotating style that you have, or you can change it to a list view or Apple style, and also this rotating style. So if you're interested in gaming on your smartwatch, there's also a bird game here, only one game, so you can just click here and it's basically Flappy Bird, probably a knockoff of the original Flappy Bird, but yeah, you do get game features here. So if you swipe from the top, this is where you're going to bring you to your command center, which is where you access the settings as well. And if you swipe from the bottom, this is where you go into your notification center. And if you swipe from either the left or right, you go into the different widgets, which is the same. So you just go into one cycle. So here you get to take a look at all the different widgets that is preloaded inside here. And you will also finally go back to your home page. So that's basically how you navigate the watch interface. So what I like about the QCY app is that they combine the QCY Watch and QCY Earbud app all in one app. So if you use all of their products, it will all work under one app. So under data, this is where you get a summary of your entire health, like a health overview. And if you click into any one of it, it will show you more details about your health status. So under the workouts tab, even when using the QCY app, there is no GPS recorded for your workout. So both the watch and app doesn't record any GPS data. And finally, in the settings app, this is where you get to choose your different watch faces, manage your health monitoring settings, go into photo mode. So open the app here to control it with your watch, and you can't actually use this with your phone's native camera app as mentioned before. So you also get to find your watch. It vibrates and plays a really soft noise, so if it's buried under a pile of pillows, then I think good luck finding your watch. Finally, you can also update the firmware on your watch. So finally, the part that I'm most excited about, which is the accuracy, and because of the lack of GPS tracking, this watch is nowhere near the accuracy or even the most basic single band GPS watch. It uses all the accelerometers in the watch to detect your movement and guess your activity as well as your duration. So for those looking for a serious sport watch, it's time to look away, but if you just want something to easily track your movements and just basic sports tracking, then this is okay. For starters, I took the watch out to my usual 5 kilometers run, and man, this thing is all over the place. So heart rate wise, this is not really accurate. When I'm stressing and panting, my heart rate is somewhere 160, 170, and the watch reads 144. Or at any given time, it's mostly 10 BPMs off compared to my benchmark, which is the Apple Watch Ultra. But funnily, sometimes when you look at it, it's on par, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, so it's not very accurate there. And from a distance perspective, it's the same situation here. So at the start of my run, I noticed that I'm 100 meters less than at the start. Then somewhere in the middle of the run, suddenly it catches up and is on par or close to the Apple Watch. And at the end, the QCY sped ahead and ended the run at about 230 meters more than my Apple Watch. So honestly, I'm not faulting the watch, but because it depends on your arm swing, how fast you're moving, and sometimes when I go with my faster cadence, it assumes that I'm running faster or further, so that's just something to consider. But if you're not an athlete and just want something to track your activities, then this watch is perfectly fine. So what do you think about this watch? For this budget price point and all the awesome features and materials that you get with this watch, will you mind not having that very accurate system to track your activities? I'm curious to find out. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.